This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're delighted to be joined with our good friend, the Kingdom Warrior, once again, Kevin Cronin. How are you, mate?
All right, Steve, all good. How are you?
Oh, it's fantastic. I've been spending my Friday watching Beard Meets Food. I'm addicted to the thing, and anybody that knows what I eat, I'm like a stick. So I like watching these programs just for the sheer audacity, I guess, that I eat so much food.
Watch and don't touch.
There's my random thought out of the way today, but Kevin, we've obviously spoke quite a lot, obviously over the last year or so, and for most of the last year or so, you've been 4-0. It's a delight for me that you're now 5-0, probably more than anything. But I guess for yourself, after nearly 15 months out of the ring, it's good to see another win and add it to the win column.
Yeah, it's not even just get another win, just to get a frustrating period out of the way. Period of fights falling through and everything happening last minute. It never, I was never one to be phased over something happening, but it was just every one of them were last minute. Every one of them were fight week, so it was just very, very frustrating. The money was spent, the time was put in, the weight was there, and then they were falling through. But yeah, look, that's a frustrating period, and it's out of the way, and good to even see on whatever box rec, and just to be active, just to be active and have an input into things again.
I guess sort of that weekend, it sort of nearly went under the radar. You were sort of back in action. You had obviously the Belfast card with Eric Donovan with the EU belt. You had Andy Kokachi obviously fighting in Manchester, the same place as yourself, and obviously him fighting for the IBO. So you sort of were nearly able to go under the radar in some ways, but people may have forgot that you've been back in the ring recently. People maybe go, when are you getting back in the ring? And you're going, I've been fighting, but
Yeah.
It's that sort of, I guess it's the worthwhileness sort of that after so many camps and so many fallouts that you've done a camp, you've had a fight, and I guess it's that sort of relief to now go, I've actually ticked the box of fought this year.
Yeah, going under the radar probably wasn't a bad thing if I had a job with questions over the ring rustiness and all that, but there was no ring rust really. But yeah, it was just a huge weekend for Irish boxing. So, it was probably the last name on the list for Irish boxing fans to be watching that week. Especially with nothing on the line over there. Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It was a pity, we had a couple of great camps coming up, and then we just actually the camp for the fight that actually happened. I think Jono even mentioned it here last week. It wasn't the best one. There was just a few things going on that I was coming back from that injury. There was little niggles coming back, and we'd have to take a little bit of time out, and John missed a few spars and all that. But then, look, at the end of the day, probably, even though the camp didn't go great, I think the performance was. I think that anyone seen it, it was. Personally, I thought myself it was a great performance. Like even a few of my friends were kind of like, "Jesus, he wasn't trying anything." But I was talking to Ryan himself after, and like he's known to be tough in there, and he was saying like he was coming to give it a go in his hometown, but he said he was mentioned. He just said there was too much pop in my shots. He said it was keeping him at bay, and he was questioning shooting because he was saying, anytime he'd think of shooting, I was either out of range straight away or I was in, catching him with sharp shots. So, that's all good feedback to get from an opponent, and nice, honest feedback to get from an opponent too. A lot of them could just talk about how they had enough there, and then when he just gave me the praise, and said it was just too much for him. So yeah, look, it was a good performance.
There's quite a bit of weight difference as well. Obviously, it's about just over 7 pound of difference. So obviously, he was a heavier guy as well. I guess in some ways you can sort of use that. You know that even though you were sort of just under the light heavyweight limit, that he was nearly 182 pounds. So he's nearly half a stone heavier than you, and you know that you can still equip yourself very well there. I guess as an experienced journeyman at Ryan Hibbert is, you can sort of take a lot of positives from that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, look, usually you expect him. You nearly expect, even if they said they were going to come in and wait, not to come in and wait. Probably not half a stone over, but look, it was all a part of the experience. And Ryan's a good fella. I had a chat with him after. He's a really nice fella. and I hope he does well in the rest of his career. But yeah, look, again, it is what it is. I had that, even though there was a stone, or what it was, half a stone or something on the scales, I refueled good and I come into the ring big anyway, even though made that weight very, very easy. To be honest with you, we didn't know what weight I was going to be even before the weigh, and I didn't even do a check weighing because we didn't know, was I going to come in at 79 or I could come in at 77. That's the way my weight's been going, because the last two camps I was cutting for super middleweight, and in this one, I obviously, with the fights falling through last minute, I said I'm not going through that cut again for it to fall through, so let's just get this one out of the way,
Nearly be relieved in some ways that you sort of weren't super middleweight as well, because obviously it'd been a bit of stoning difference then.
Yeah, that would have made a big difference.
But I guess obviously since then, it was sort of announced, but sort of not really announced in the way that you're obviously going to be fighting in the Dublin card. You're obviously going to be fighting Robbie Burke. Sort of nearly by the time the sort of announcement had sort of came, it sort of things weren't sort of happening. I know in some ways sort of there's maybe some things you can say and obviously some things that can't, but I'm sure I guess a disappointment because you wanted a domestic dust up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good fight too, unfortunately, because it's a fight we've been looking at for a while. It's a fight that's been mentioned, oh God, more times than probably any other fight. The only other fight that would have even came close to being mentioned as much would have been me and Jamie Morrissey, John. But yeah, like since the day Robbie Burke turned over, yeah, he's brought my name into a couple of interviews, whether he was dropping or they were kind of coming them, but it's been mentioned, so it was a fight we were up for. It was a fight again that I was being told I was avoiding, but you can't exactly fight someone unless there's an offer there. John's grand to say, I'll fight this person, I'll fight that person, but until there's an offer on the table, there's no fight. We're boxers, we're not promoters, we can't just make a show ourselves. So, but yeah, look, the fight offer came. I was told it was going to be for the BUI light heavyweight title. So look, I know me and Robbie Burke wanted that fight at super middleweight, but when we were told the title would be on the line at light heavyweight, it was a bit of a no-brainer. So we said we'd have one last blast at that weight. It was unfortunate. Again, as you said, I don't want to go too much into it, but just politics came in the way. It was, let's say, yesterday the fight was 100% happening, everything was perfect. To today, then all of a sudden, minds change and no, it's not happening anymore. There was just a lot of frustrating stuff again in the background, stuff that doesn't need to happen.
I was going to say there's that sort of the annoying part, because as you and Robbie obviously are fighters, you just want to fight, and sometimes the stuff that goes on behind closed doors that people don't see are the things that really probably annoy you a lot about boxing.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, why aren't these all Irish fights happening? We want this all Irish fight. Why isn't it happening? Then it's happening, and then it's not allowed to happen. It's make up your fucking minds. Like, what do you want? Yeah, that's annoying. I felt for Robbie Burke too, because that was pulled from under his feet as well. So yeah, look, it is what it is again.
And I guess probably not a lot of people would know, but obviously there was talks as well. Obviously, he'll be fighting Jamie Morrissey for his belt at 168 on the Cronin card. I obviously don't want to lead too much with it, because I give you the opportunity, but obviously you were in discussions to obviously fight Jamie Morrissey for the Celtic title at 168 on the 10th of December.
Yeah. Well, actually, there wasn't talks of us fighting for 168. There was we were talking with Ian Goffram. Well, John and Ian were talking. Ian got
I've just lost your signal. Your sound.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your sound was just playing off there.
No, you're okay. We were talking with Ian Goffram. He kind of showed their interest in the fight after the Robbie Burke fight fell through, to see would I be interested after the Robbie Burke fight fell through. I said, yeah. I said I'd be 100% interested. I just said get in contact with my manager, Jono. I gave him Jono's number. Jono showed that he was interested, or that he was interested. He just kind of, there's only so much I can say, you know. It's got to go through the manager at the end of the day. With John, I already had the discussion with Jono before he even got in touch with him, and he said, "Yeah, we're interested." Actually, they wanted it at 175. I don't know why, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But we were kind of showing our interest. We would have done a 175, you know, if that's what it came to. But we would have put a bit of a push to 168. But look, obviously, look, there's more things go on, you know, in people's lives. We would have been ready for the fight. And actually, there was no discussion to where to be. We were going.
Lost your sound again.
100%.
Your sound keeps breaking in and out.
Enough for it. We were 100% up for it. And is what it is. Look, it's after speaking with him, I think it's definitely going to happen next year. Hence the reason I'm going to fight the 168 next, just in case nothing's been said about it from any licensing crowds yet, but just in case they come back and say, "Oh, but you haven't fought this way," you know, or anything like that. We just want to be all above board and say, "Look, yes, we have. Our last fight was at this weight. Thank you very much, Joe. We know we'll make 168 easy. I've made it 5 times now with the fights falling through and made it easy, Joe, and comfortable at it, Joe. So hopefully there can be no issues with there, but there won't be because we're going to have a fight there anyway. But yeah, I think me and Jamie Morrissey will definitely be happening in the first half of next year anyway. I'd imagine, all going well, and once everyone's safe and everyone's health is good to go, then we should be. It's a fight that should 100% happen, and hopefully as well down the line, me and Robbie Burke can redo it, or even let's say if something happens with another fight falling through, maybe Robbie could be there to step in, just something like that. But yeah, look, there are 2 fights on the table. At least one of them fights is definitely going to happen in the in the first half of next year.
The sort of the sound was cutting off a wee bit, but we sort of, I guess we can sort of tell it, you know, from that sort of what was happening. Is it good now to have 2 options sort of moving forward? You know, you obviously have the potential. Obviously, Robbie Burke comes through in Dublin. I'm obviously not sure what the rounds are going to be in 3 weeks' time, but if he then becomes title eligible, again, there's obviously the opportunity of Burke at 175 or Jamie Morrissey at either 175 or 168. That you're sort of, I don't know, maybe in the meantime between now and then you make it one more fight before either of them will happen.
Yeah, well, look, it's look, my 175 days are over for now anyway. And just I have no business there. Like, you know, I walked into that weigh-in the last day, came in on the button at light heavyweight after having breakfast that morning. You know, I don't need to be there. I'm gonna make 168 easy. From then, look, we'll get this fight 168, get my title fight at 168. You know, I'm confident. You know, I win my title at 168, and we'll see what the future holds for weights. Then it could keep going down. Who knows yet? But yeah, look, that all eyes on getting just getting that fight now 168. We're fit, we're ready. Weight's not bad now. I'm kind of in that position where if a last minute fight comes up, like say 2 weeks time, I'll be able to just shift the weight down. I'll be ready and prepped because I'm sparring. I'm sparring very, very good at the minute. Sparring high rounds. Fitness is very good. So yeah, we're kind of ready for short notice fight. Let's say if it pops up, because obviously we have nothing right now in the pipeline because we did have that one in England, and unfortunately the English game in the World Cup was on that day and it's caused a few problems with that. But yeah, look, I can't guarantee I'll have a fight before December, but what I can guarantee is I'll be ready for a fight before December, you know, if it pops up. But yeah, look, it makes for interesting times now because everyone's going to be asking. Next question is going to be geez, how will I perform at 168? Will he be weight trained? I know I won't be, Joe. I know I'm a lot stronger at 168 because just even going off of that Cork fight that was going to happen, I was on weight. I was like half a kilo off it. You know, there was 2 days out. I was probably going to weigh in on weight, you know, the day beforehand, or the day before the weigh-ins even, I was going to be on weight. But when that fell through, then I went sparring actually 10 rounds I went sparring with someone, just helping them out. They had a big fight coming up, and not even probably, it was the sharpest I've ever been. Like, I actually, in that 10 rounds, I'd say if I was caught 5 times, and from a good boxer, if I was caught 5 times in that 10 rounds, I was just moving at ease, moving with confidence, moving with everything. It's just like, in it was just, I just know it was the weight, I just know it was like I just found my home, down there. So I really look forward to getting down there, and I think once I get my fight down there and get that title fight down there, I'll have the confidence to start mixing it with these guys in Sky Sports, if they want to ring us and offer us a fight with someone who's, I don't know, they're ranked in the top 50 or something in the world. I know once I get down there and start getting my fights and titles down there, I'll be up for that.
I guess, so many full field fights to happen. Obviously at 4-0, that's obviously now been 3 potential fights now at 5-0. Are you used to? You're probably used to it now, but you're used to the bad luck or the fall through of fights. So you're always expecting that something's going to go wrong. Is it going to take you time to build the confidence back up again that whenever you agree to a fight, it's actually going to happen?
Look, until I'm in the ring, or not even in the ring, till I've officially made my way in with the officials there, then there's no guarantee. And look, I know it's been a shitty period, but at least I find it out now, and not when I'm 10-0, booming with confidence, trying to get a European title or something like that, and then a load of fights start falling through and you don't know what's going on and what's happening. I've seen the shitty side of boxing now. I've seen an even shittier side of boxing with that Robbie Burke fight falling through. It's I guess what you say, it's a dog eat dog world, isn't it? So look, we got to worry about ourselves here, and just keep on grinding. It's going to take more than a couple of fights falling through or fights being pulled from under us to knock my confidence. So look, we're just going to keep on grinding in the gym, keeping training hard, keeping top of my diet, keeping top of the weight, stay sharp, and my moment will come anyway. I'm just going to stay as busy as possible, take what fights I can, and yeah, as I said, like, even when the day comes and you have the guys like Ben Shalom ringing your manager, then then I'll be ready and I'll be confident for them fights.
You'll be a happy boy.
Speaking of which, my last fight, actually, after the weigh-in, we made it up to it was at the afters of the weigh-in of the Sky Sports fight. Who was fighting? Anthony Kakache on.
Yeah, so it was a BT one in Manchester.
Joe Joyce, yeah, we made it up to the afters of that, and we actually got into the press conferences after and all that. And we were speaking with Ben Shalom and everything like that. And you couldn't be a nicer guy. Me and Jono, we were talking to him for a good. I said we're talking to him for half an hour. I said we'll catch him here might get 30 seconds out of him, John. He'll be chucking us away. This guy, we said hello to him, John, kind of introduced ourselves. He sort of pulled away from the crowd and pulled us away from the crowd that he was talking to. He just sat there chatting to us for about 30 minutes, John. We weren't holding him there. We were just like, because we knew he was going to be a busy man that day, John. We pulled him left, right, and center. He gave 30 minutes, John, just talking about fights and even talking about our future of getting a fight on Boxer, and just telling us what to do and who to get in contact when we do that, and he'd look after us, and things like that. Then, so yeah, it's definitely. How couldn't you be confident after things like that?
It's a motivation sometimes you want. I guess the other motivation side of things as well is, I know the last time we spoke, we sort of planned to get you. I think it was the last time we spoke. We planned to obviously get you sparring with Paddy McCrory. Obviously, Paddy sparred you. Obviously, your last spar before your fight, and obviously now he's the ABO champion as well. Like, I guess it's another box you can tick and going, I've sparred him, I've sparred him, I've sparred him.
Yeah. If you can't take confidence from things like that, then it's pack it in, because what else can you take confidence from, being in there with them guys, sharing so many rounds with them, and then they go on next, and you look at your phone, you're watching a fight, and all of a sudden in the space of a couple of weeks, that's it. He's a world champion, Joe. You were sparring him for his word, and not a lot of people gave him a chance. But I tell you what, I didn't expect him to be as powerful as he was until I sparred him, and he can bang. And you know what, I was saying to Jono after, I said, like, if you look at the frame of the guy, he doesn't look like he's a huge puncher. Not that he's scrawny or anything like that, but you know, when you see someone like Betterby of John, they're just a solid, big, solid looking unit, and you'd know they can pack a punch. And I think that's where he could be most dangerous. I think a lot of people, even I'd say maybe even Leon Bunn, probably look at him as well, thinking he can't be that powerful, you know. How would that work out for him? But yeah, that was a serious win. I was at a wedding and they were giving speeches and all that, and I had the phone in my lap under the table watching it. So yeah, it was a very, very. No, you know what? It was a big win, but he was in complete control for the whole fight. The whole fight. I see people saying about the first round. Oh, the first round maybe Leon Bunn. I actually had Paddy winning that first round. I thought he was outboxing, won the first round, and then he just put it on him. Like, it was serious performance. And yeah, of course I'm gonna take confidence from him.
It's crazy to think. Like, I was speaking to Paul the other day, and he was telling me he was obviously behind in the scorecards before the stoppage in the 6th round, and I'm going, how? You know, I guess I guess we have blinkers on for the fight, and we sort of, you know, the first round where you're going, I maybe scored it maybe a 10-10. You know, there wasn't a lot in it. But you know, even to think you knocked him down in the 2nd, knocked him down in the 3rd, maybe took the 4th round off, but then in the 5th round again he started to take over. And if it wasn't for your man's corner at the 6th round, the fight was going to carry on, and you could have Leon Bunn in serious difficulty in hospital. You know, he couldn't move his head. He was getting battered all over the place.
I never knew he was behind the cards until you say it now. That's crazy. Can you imagine if that went to a decision after giving someone such a beating, putting them down so many times, and they call him out as the winner? That'd be bizarre.
Crazy.
And what would that do to someone's confidence as well? You know, they'd start questioning themselves, and then they might start going downhill as a boxer. It's fucking, as I said, it's a corrupt old sport, like, you know.
It's brutal.
You got to worry about yourself in it.
But listen, obviously, I'll thank you once again for obviously coming on having the chat with us. I guess when we had that sort of much information, I guess it keeps people in the knowledge. They know that I'm trying to get fights. You're just having still that bit of bad luck, I guess. If you can go out through the door now and leave the bad luck behind, you know, hopefully coming into 2023, you can get your hands on a title or fight for a title, and obviously push yourself away on them.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I don't even think this time it's bad luck. I think a lot of people go through it, you know, with fights falling through here and there. I'm probably just more vocal about my fights, letting people know the fights are happening, you know, and it's coming up soon, given the dates and all that, you know. Probably earlier than I should, but it doesn't make a difference, you know. When I'm told I have a fight, you know. So that's probably the main thing, you know. That's to a person now that, let's say, follows me on social media or something, they're looking, oh, Kevin, is a fight coming up, oh, another one fell through. It's because I'm nearly announcing it the minute I'm told about it, you know. And I just feel I have to, you know, because I give people time. If someone does want to go over to, let's say, if someone did want to come over to Portsmouth, they're not, you know, you can't just tell them in a week's notice and expect people to drop everything and just come over, coming up to Christmas, especially things like that. So yeah, I probably not even that much of a bad luck. I think everyone goes through it. As I said, I'm just probably a bit more vocal about it.
Definitely, definitely helps the healing process. But thanks very much for your time. Obviously, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Fingers crossed you're messaging me very, very soon to tell me you got some fight news. If there's anybody out there that wants to fight at 168 or 175 before Christmas, Kevin Cronin's your man.
Nice one. Cheers, Steve.
All right, Kevin. Cheers. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.